Hi everyone. I wanted to quickly talk about Danielle Radlik. And as you know, the Florida woman Danielle Radlik, if you have watched and followed the murder trial, I want to say that number one, I have never seen a testimony, her testimony, or anyone giving such a testimony that was so real, so truthful, so honest. It was immediately when I watched it without even knowing anything regarding this case. I immediately, as an empath, I immediately could see through the truth that she's telling, and I could feel through her pain she went through. She could explain it so well, so truthful, so honestly, and in a very calm and collected manner that you could feel, like I could feel as an empath, her pain that she encountered within her relationship with her husband. And there was a clear domestic abuse, domestic violence, and abuse by her husband for years. And it accumulated and accumulated and accumulated. And before I dive deeper into it, I also want to mention that her defense attorney, that gentleman, he was such a good defense attorney, such a good attorney, period. He was so clear, so on point, facts of facts, not too much, not too little, just exactly what's needed. Boom, 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 boom. Questions, not much, not more, not less, completely on point, crystal clear. I mean, it was amazing, especially after watching this, you know, the saga of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I'm not saying that there was no abuse in there. I have a video on that, but what I'm saying that is that what I really don't like is the public making these issues as a joke, as a way of earning money on their YouTube channels or other channels. I mean, this is, whomever side it is about domestic abuse. And this video, what I'm doing right now, is also for the people, for the public to really understand that domestic violence is real, and abuse within relationships are real. And I would like to see that the public is more aware of this and aware of the signs. And I also would like to see that the police officers are also being educated about it. I have a video, a lengthy video on Gabby Potato case and how the domestic violence was there, not captured by the police officer in Utah when they stopped the car after a call from somebody reporting a domestic abuse between the two. They were just in their 20s, right? And boyfriend, girlfriend, but doesn't matter. It was a domestic violence issue which the Utah police who were stopping them on the highway not recognized. And that is a problem. And that came also up at that time, that if the police officer would have been able to see that there was a clear domestic violence issue, they would have acted differently. They would have not let things escalate and let them just like go off and whatever. So, and they probably would have been alive by now, and they acknowledged their mistake in that. And in the Danielle Radley case, it was, so she first went to jail, right, for 3.5 years because uh, she was accused of murder of her husband. But then when you saw, as I said, without even knowing anything about the case, I just watched her testimony, and it was so clear. I've never seen somebody on the stand in a court giving such a truthful and honest and clear testimony. And I could, as I said, as an empath, I could feel through her pain she encountered over the years by her husband. And she was literally afraid of him. Afraid. She was literally hiding constantly in closets in her own home. And it is very horrific to see that it is not being recognized, not being immediately being recognized as a scenario of domestic violence and abuse. So again, abuse can be both ways. Male can do abuse to women, women can abuse to men, can abuse men. It is both ways. As I have in my channel a lot of narcissistic videos, I mean the videos about narcissism, and I will do more on, it's on other languages, but I want to do more English language because I I can write a second PhD about narcissism in relationships, narcissism at work, co-workers, bosses, and in narcissism in general. And I have a clear understanding and explanation on the generational narcissism and sociological impact of that. And I actually have a fantastic video on this, but I will do more in English, so because it's so important. I've talked about this for decades, about narcissism, especially mostly for the last 10 years or so. I think so, 10 years, hold on a second. I would say 7-8 years or so. I actively really strongly talk about the sociological impact of narcissism. And so when you have damaged families, when you grow up in damaged families, the chances are that you end up being in a violent relationship, an abusive relationship, is extremely high. So it all comes down to how you grow up, right? So if you grow up in a very broken family, abandonment issues and other issues, then the chances are that you are in relationships and marriages that are really extremely violent and abusive. And sometimes the person cannot recognize it. Why? Because they already seen this the entire life, and it developed a defense mechanism so that they tolerate. It's their mechanism of toleration. And so when they are in active abuse, they tend to just go over it, or just like not think about it, or just like do other maneuver mechanism to just not think about it, or not accept even that they are in abusive relationships. And so it is very critical to have a strong public education about narcissistic relationship abuse, domestic violence, all the like facts, like, right, like all the symptoms of abuse, of narcissism, of domestic violence, and what can people do about it when they first see these signs. And because of oftentimes when people are growing up in broken families, or home, family relationships, then there's oftentimes abandonment issues or intimacy issues. This is like all pretty much most the case of intimacy issues or abandonment issues. And then when they go into relationships, then this they find partners that they it's like two polar opposites, and they kind of fit each other's needs. And oftentimes the other person sucks the blood out of the other person, and or they get into violence themselves because they do not get the satisfaction from whatever childhood they have. So because of this, as I said, it's absolutely critical to recognize, to educate, to recognize abuse, to domestic violence and narcissism, and actively pursue the path to get out of it. And public education is critical, as well as just being more public about this, like the media and the institutions needs to spread the word more in this, instead of dramatizing, publicizing, and all these like making jokes or making this as a public like a stream of income, or anything like that, or fun point or discussion point, just to keep the ball rolling. So it is absolutely critical that the institutions and the government and the experts should really pay attention to make this as an issue, like as we all know, now mental health is suddenly popped up again, and it's all over the news and media how important that is. Yes, so instead of the same thing with the Gabby Potato case, where everything is streaming online and doing all these live streams and income from the Gabby Potato case, the same thing with Johnny Depp case. These are critical issues. So this should not be seen as entertainment. That's what I was trying to say. The ends as an entertainment and money-making resource. It should be seen as a serious issue to be tackled with strategically by the public, by officials, and officials must be trained very, very extensively about domestic abuse, domestic violence, abuse, and narcissism within relationships. So critical. And they should also, I think, I don't know if they do, but they should also get some psychology education, or at least some courses, so that they can understand the scenario. I know they follow the law, but I know it. Maybe in FBI there are these psychologists, I guess so, but I'm not sure if the city polices or the town polices, they do have this type of education. I'm not sure. You can let me know in the comments if you know, but they should also be able to see and feel, who's the victim, who is the perpetrator, who does what, who is the murderer. I mean, really, you can see it, you know, I see it as a, you know, empath, or somebody who has strong psychological, I don't know, it's not a training, but like it's a kind of a lifetime training, if you will. When I see that, I love watching like these, you know, these cases, because I can really pinpoint, this is a liar, this person says the truth because of this is that. I could see the body language, I could see the voice, I could see their mimics, and it is absolutely crystal clear who lies and who does not, you know, who lies and who says the truth. And I want to finish by saying no one can fake abuse. No one can fake abuse. If somebody has been abused, it will pop in their body language, in their voice, in their mimic, in what they are saying, in their behavior. You could clearly see that with Danielle Rodlik, and it was so obvious, and that's why she was also acquitted by the jury from murder. And that was, in my opinion, absolutely the correct uh, decision by the jury. So kudos to the jury, kudos to Danielle Radcliffe for giving such a truthful testimony. It was incredible to watch her. And kudos to her defense attorney, the gentleman. He was just like perfect, like really like on point, tip top. Loved it, no drama, just straight to the point, and nothing more, nothing less. It was incredible. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.